Ms. Cahoon,
Here.
Ms. Hammond, Dr. McFadden,
He's walking in now.
Dr. McFadden,
Say here.
Mr. Shepherd is here. I don't know how we do that. Mr. Walker? Here. Mrs. Walker?
Here.
Mr. Rick?
Here. A quorum has been established. Next on the agenda, pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next on the agenda are citizens' comments. This is the portion of the meeting where you, the citizens, can address the Mount Clemens Board with any questions, comments, or concerns. We ask that you come to the microphone, state your name and address. Be mindful you have 3 minutes by which to make your inquiries. Also, you may not receive a particular response to your inquiry here this evening. And last but not least, I ask that you address all questions, comments, concerns to the chair. The agenda is now open for citizens' comments.
Good evening, what a beautiful day. My name is, I'm losing my voice, don't forgive me. I'm a veteran, I have lots of hearing, so if I'm talking too loud or too soft, please jump in and let me know.
Your name and address, sir? Your name and address?
I'm
Okay,
say it now.
all right.
Norm Lupo, Lupo, 40666, Orchid, Michael Flower, Clinton Township. Okay? 3 minutes, thank you. As I said, what a beautiful day and what a great day for school board. This is my first appearance. I have this, I'm gonna, as a supplement, it's impossible for me to, in 3 minutes. So I'll turn this to your secretary, you can read it later. But, for the time I have, let me just say this. I'm losing my voice. Just as an overview, my wife and I moved here in last year. I was born in Michigan. We moved to Macomb County in 1952 with my parents. I know Mount Clemens. I know Macomb County. There's hardly anyone I don't know. I had to go, when I retired from my primary occupation, I did relocate to Florida for many years. So we came back to my home, my roots, and I'm happy to be here. While in Florida, I taught higher education and K through 12. My resume is very long, but that's not important. What's important is just sharing. When we moved into our home by George Park, okay, I got a notice from Clinton Township. And unbeknown to me and my wife, I looked, I said, this must be a mistake. And it says, you're in the Mount Clemens School District. I said, well, how could that be? I'm not physically in the city of Mount Clemens. And they said, well, and I've got a long explanation, which was most appreciated by then Paul, who's now the township supervisor. He went out of his way to explain to me the history as the best that he could of many, many years ago that the Michigan legislator that drew these particular lines in that we were in the Mount Clemens School District. So I'm just saying it was a little surprise. I didn't know that. Let me end with, do I have a minute yet?
I'll give you a finish up.
You know, they say there's no absolutes in life. Well, I disagree. There's one that I know for sure that is a fact, that is reality. Being in education and government my entire life, some 60 years, is this, and I'm going to read it to you.
Sir, your time is up. I'll let you go over, but your 3 minutes is up.
Oh, it's up?
Yes, sir.
Wow, where did that go? I'll just leave that.
Can we take his
Thank
letter?
you.
Oh. Thank you for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right.
My name's Maggie Macaria, 40622 Orchid Trail. You forgot the trail, Norm. I'm the president of the Homeowners Association for HOA 1. And what we would like to know is if there will be any informational meetings regarding this bond proposal, because we pay a lot of taxes. It's pretty hard, bitter pill to swallow, so that's what we'd like to know. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm sorry, I missed your name. I'm sorry.
Maggie Macaria, Mucaria.
The agenda is still open for citizens' comments.
Erica Manninen. I'll spell the first name for you. It's Erycca. Manninen is Manninen. 197 Morass in Mount Clemens. Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Board, for the work that you do. I would also like to discuss the bond, and I have some questions that I have not been able to get answered satisfactorily anywhere else. I reviewed the data that is available on the Michigan School Data site. It's the official education data source for the state of Michigan. I will admit the data is a year old because that is how they report the data. However, the numbers they present for the high school in our city is beyond disappointing. Our overall performance is at 11%. English 13%. Math 5%, science 12%, and social studies 16%. This is the lowest of any of the neighboring school districts by a lot. I accounted for what I've been told is improvements that have been made recently by adding an additional 25% improvement rate. We still remain the lowest in all of performances. Our qualified staff is at 64% last year. Our English teachers are at 100%, which is fantastic, but our math is at 79%. Now, we do have a smaller enrollment rate and a different population than some of the districts around us, which I understand. However, that lower enrollment rate is not translating into more one-on-one time. The lowest teacher-to-student ratio last year was in Fraser High School with 14-1, and we were at 20-1, which was average amongst our neighboring schools. I would like to know how this bond is going to work to improve those numbers. I recognize that improvements are needed to technology and the buildings for safety and ease of use. I grew up in Mount Clemens. I moved back into the same city on the same street that I grew up on. My dad graduated from Mount Clemens High School in 1975. But in the 1990s, my parents made the decision that I would not be graduating from Mount Clemens schools because at the time there were issues, and they have continued. This is a large amount of money that is being asked to be given, and if I were to look at these numbers for any other situation, I would determine them to be a failure. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comments, ma'am. The agenda is still open for citizens' comments. Still open for citizens' comments.
Hi there. I've got Bishop, and I'm trying to prepare a full history
Your
of the
name,
school.
excuse me, your name and address, please.
Oh, Bev Bishop, I
Yes,
said. 54 Kendrick. I own 2 other houses in Mount Clemens I rent. So, my own children did graduate through here, although I didn't. I came from the deep south of this area, and I've always been very supportive of everything going on. So now what I don't understand is I drive around to all the school addresses that I can locate. How many schools do we actually own and run right now? Do we do Seminole?
Yes.
And we do a middle school and we do a high school. What's going on with the old Washington school? Do we rent it out or is that sold?
No. The questions that you ask are being recorded, ma'am. You will give responses to those questions.
When?
3 days. If you put them in writing, it'd be 3 days.
Oh, you know what? I've left so many messages here to try and get someone
Ma'am,
to answer.
Ma'am, you asked me a question. and
But
I'm
you can't
telling
answer that.
I'm telling you what the process is.
Okay, fine.
I'm not trying to.
I just am at my wit's end trying to understand. I have been to every building. I have tried to understand by the signs how many other schools have owned them. So we do have Debbie from the library who has prepared an entire 3-sheet synopsis of all the schools, but she left off in 2008. So they have asked me to finish that. So I guess I need to put this in writing and not leave messages on your phone. Okay, I guess I understand that. I was hoping on Saturday to invite you all to come to a talk I am giving at the library. There's already 65 people signed up to come, and you of course are welcome. It's at 10:30 in the morning. It's only an hour, and it's the history of our schools. I won't be able to answer a lot of the most latest things, even though I've knocked on doors and tried to get in and everything. So, of course, it's not appropriate to approach schools these days. So I guess that I don't have comments. I just had questions and cards. I just want to know when we bought it, when we sold it. It's a beautiful building. But I can't answer that. But on Saturday, maybe someone else will.
Thank you for your comments, ma'am. Last call, citizens' comments. Seeing or hearing none, moving the agenda forward. Next on the agenda are action items. Under action items this evening, item 5, the consent agenda. Under item 5, consent agenda 5A, approval of minutes. A1, March 12th, 2025, Committee of the Whole Workshop. 5A2, February 19th, 2025, regular meeting. Agenda item 5, approval of bills for payment. 5B1, February bills for payment. Agenda item C, business and finance. C1, iPad purchase. C2, new structure for human resource operations. Consent agenda item, you want all these on consent? Consent agenda item D. D1, emergency operations plans for D1A, Seminole. D1B, secondary complex. And, excuse me, action item, agenda item 5E1, curriculum, the 2024 EnVision Mathematics program. The chair would entertain an agenda relative to, a motion relative to the consent agenda.
I'm also approve the consent agenda as presented.
Moved by D. Walker to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Second, Ms. Cahoon. Any questions, comments concerns regarding the motion on the floor?
I'd like to. Mr. Roper, while you were out during the workshop, it was presented to us.
Which item are you addressing, sir?
The five. Let's see. I thought these would be separate.
G.
2, 5C2, as well as it ties into 5E1.
So you want to pull those off? You want to pull off?
I just wanted to discuss.
But that's what you do. You pull them off for discussion.
Okay.
So you want to pull off agenda item 5C2, and what was the other one? I'm sorry.
5E1.
And 5E.
I consider them both related.
Gotcha. Understood.
Okay. So it was.
No. We got to vote on consent agenda first, and then come back to that.
Okay.
Any additional questions, comments, concerns regarding the motion on the floor? And that's to approve consent agenda item 5A, 1 and 2, 5B, 1, 5C, 1, 5D, 1, A and B. And the other two items have been removed for discussion. Hearing no questions, call the roll, please.
Mr. Walker,
Yes.
Ms. Cahoon,
Yes.
Ms. Hammond,
Yes.
Dr. McFadden.
Yes.
I vote yes. Ms. Walker,
Yes.
Mr. Rickman.
Yes, motion carries. We go back to consent agenda item 5C2. Mr. Shepherd.
Okay. As was presented to us while you were out, first off, it pretty much began saying that Mount Clemens didn't have a math curriculum at the time. First off, is that accurate? That we didn't have, how long have we been operating without a math curriculum?
Well, my understanding was we didn't have a consolidated curriculum for the whole district. We have pockets of curriculum, based on what I heard Dr. Lewis say. It wasn't that we didn't have any curriculum; it just wasn't aligned and coordinated, and different things. But you can respond.
That's accurate. It wasn't comprehensive, and to be clear, we need, and I think this conversation already happened, but to make sure we're on the same page when we discuss and define curriculum. Some people define that as a textbook or which are resources and a part of the curriculum. But I do know that there's some misunderstanding of what curriculum actually is, and I think that was discussed at the workshop meeting. But curriculum isn't just a textbook; it is everything that goes along with the teaching the standards and the skills that includes the textbooks and resources like that. So,
Okay, so again, this ties in C2 and E1. With the structure for human resource operations, would you say that perhaps the reason why we didn't have a complete curriculum was that the assistant superintendent of human resources and curriculum was overwhelmed by human resource work?
I don't know what led to that. I don't know how long before the previous administrators were in their roles did it not exist. So I can't speak to that. I can just speak to what we audited when I entered and what we began to audit this year as well. So I don't know the reason behind it, or I didn't have the opportunity to transition with the past administrative superintendents to, really get that information. So I don't want to misspeak, but I just know what we didn't have.
And then this is specific to C2. With human resources, it's always been an all hands on deck kind of thing. In my experience anyway, limited as it was. But human resource seems to be an overwhelming task. Many districts have a human resource department along with a secretary for human resources. Is this something that's going to be long term, where it's going to be just basically scattered about the administration, or do you plan to eventually get a person that's just focused on human resources, or possibly outsource it?
Yeah. So as of right now, I wouldn't use the word scattered. That sounds a little misleading, in my opinion. I would say it's organized, it's structured, who's doing what. It is probably the most efficient way to get it done for us with what we have. Our focus is on our student achievement, and so I don't want to commit to saying, ideally, in my picture perfect world, we'll have an individual for every leadership role with their own secretaries and clericals, like in districts that I've come from. To your point, we're not in that position, and our focus is really on our student achievement. And so we're trying to make sure we are as efficient as possible and aligning those resources to the classroom for the most part, to our kids. So right now that'll work for us.
Okay, and then for the stipend, is this temporary or is it going to be rolled in for future contracts?
It'll be stipend until a different structure is presented.
Okay.
So you know what I mean? If we put it in a contract, then it's contractual. Stipend can change a little more freely than something that is locked in for a year. And if we, things go a different way, there's a different structure, then it's a little more difficult to pivot or make those adjustments. So.
Yeah, because I definitely am in support of the stipends. In the sense of, you want to, people are taking on extra work. The thing is, in my experience in any job, really, I know there's other duties as assigned, but when those things pile up on you, you wind up doing nothing good. It's just overwhelming, and money is kind of like a Band-Aid on a broken leg. What you really need is more bodies. So to that point, did you all hire a pupil accounting specialist?
We did.
Okay, so that position's been filled, and that should be helping too?
Yes.
Okay, well, those are my questions about that.
Okay. Any additional questions, comments, concerns regarding agenda item 5C2 or 5E1? It's already been moved in second. Any additional questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Hey, Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Ms. Cahoon?
Yes.
Ms. Hammond?
Yes.
Dr. McFadden?
Yes.
I vote yes. Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Rickman?
Yes, motion carries. Excuse me. Item 6, informational item 6, the Business Committee, 6A, financial reports. Any questions, comments, concerns regarding the financial reports? 6B, contract listings. Any questions, comments, concerns regarding the contract listings? Seeing none, going to the agenda item 7, Superintendent's comments.
Yes, sir. Good evening, board, staff, community members that are all here. It is a beautiful Wednesday night. I'm thankful for that. Just a few updates. Building wise, Seminole Academy wanted to acknowledge their equity team who put on a great Black History Month event that was well attended. We had about at least over 150 families that came out in for the celebration and our student performance. So shout out to our equity team who hosted a great night for our families and our community. We conducted our kindergarten roundup. We had over 30 new families that came out for kindergarten roundup, which was a larger number than we've had in the past, which was a great success. So kudos to the elementary staff and our kindergarten team, especially for making that happen, and a great event. At Seminole, they want to say thank you to Scripps Howard, who had their book fair is ending tomorrow, I believe, where every student at Seminole Academy that attends the elementary school received over 5 books apiece. And we just want to thank them for that opportunity for our students. At secondary, all of our middle school students have been on educational field trips to the Metro Park, where they're studying water and how to test for bacteria and the scientific, some of those science background things that are important for their development and understanding as they go through their program here in their science in our science department. Our 9th grade students attended Henry Ford Museum as part of a social studies curriculum. They focused on expanding learning experiences outside of the classroom. They experienced a scavenger hunt and learned about historic exhibits. One of our grant-funded therapists that we have that services our students has been coming in weekly to provide service and mental health support in different facets, mental health, social, emotional health for our students. That is parent consent driven, and that has been a great support for our kids who are dealing with things that are over and beyond learning the curriculum. Athletics, as you know, we started our middle school volleyball team officially, and they are starting this week. So we're excited to get out, and you all be invited out to come and support our middle school volleyball students. Our track started last week. We're having our first indoor track meet at Saginaw Valley this Thursday. There will be an athletic newsletter that Mr. Pittman is beginning, and the athletic department will begin to start to publish and get out, as well as other building level newsletters. And on April 26th, we are all invited out, and everyone is invited to attend our first track invitational. We already have 12 teams confirmed. As you know, in the past, I don't know if it was presented to me that in the past that we had track meets in the recent years, there was no added advantage or value for the district. So there was no charging to attend. There was no concession stands that can generate some revenue for our athletic department, and those things are happening. As you know, they happen for football and our other sports seasons. So we're excited for those opportunities for our kids, as well as opportunity to generate some funds for our students in the athletic department. Some district updates. As we mentioned earlier, just want to congratulate Mr. Pittman. Mr. Pittman interviewed with 3 other candidates, and he was selected as the new pupil accounting specialist. And he is as I presented to you before, it was an ideal time during our spring count to have to find a pupil accounting person, but he has hit the ground running. He spends mornings and nights here, and is doing everything it takes to make sure that our account is accurate and learning everything that he can learn. And he's been an asset to our central office, and we're excited about the future with him in that role. With that being said, there are a lot of, I won't give any definites just yet. I'll wait till everything is certified next year. But we are encouraged that there will be another gain and growth in enrollment. And I'll present what that is at next month's board meeting once it's finalized and certified. Recruitment job fair. Today we hosted our recruitment. We talked about retaining our staff and our students, and our staff, and recruiting highly qualified staff. Today, our student and staff recruiter, led by our student staff recruiter, Mrs. Hines, we held in our own job fair. We had a few candidates come in. We're able to sit down and talk to both of our principals, be interviewed kind of on the spot. And so that was a pretty cool sight to see and interesting. And so that went over really well. We're looking to grow that opportunity, grow those opportunities for potential candidates who are highly qualified. We are continuing, in addition to that, Mrs. Hines has already attended Eastern Michigan University to recruit at one of their educational teacher job fairs, and we will be attending several other universities to try to recruit their future students at job fair. So Eastern Michigan has already done. Oakland University and a couple other local universities, Grand Valley State, will be attended as well. So we're looking forward to that partnership and continued growth to try to identify people that fit what we're trying to do and align with the mission of this organization in this district. And so we are excited about that. In addition to recruiting staff, as you all know, it's always an ongoing initiative to recruit and retain our students. So student recruitment is still going as always. It is, like I said earlier, it's looking positive again. One of the things that we are focusing on is retaining our own students, right? So something that we're going to be intentional with is retaining what some of the data has indicated is that we lose students from 5th to 6th grade and from middle to high school. So those 8th grade students, our 5th grade students doing some things, building some relationships between the buildings and getting those families and those students here to let them experience a day in the life, have a big brother, big sister mentored here at the building that will be receiving them, and establishing those relationships is one of our main priorities. And those things are all underway and being planned. We already mentioned that we've already had a local elementary school, elementary and middle school, bring their kids. We hosted a tour for that district, and a recruitment day for those students, and that went over pretty well, was well attended. We are exploring, as we heard about our EnVisions for math. As you know, math is one subject. We have other subjects that are important too, but now that we have math finalized and we begin to implement, we are exploring other valuable curriculum options for our other content areas. Math is important. That's one of our critical areas of focus, but every area is a critical area of focus for us. So we are already underway in exploring some other valuable options, curriculum options for our other content areas. Just FYI, spring break is next week for our students. We hope everyone has a safe spring break, the 24th through the 28th, I believe. We are also still in the process of developing our scholarship criteria. That was one of the things that we all wanted to get done and work on, getting our kids scholarships. So we've had some initial meetings and planning on how we disseminate those funds to our students who, despite what the data on the My School data says, are college ready. September 12th, I believe that's the date. I'll have to confirm that. We're going to have our, I don't know, not our first, but the first since I've been here in a year and a half, annual golf outing is going to kick off. It'll be the morning of the all alumni event that happens at the Rec Bowl every year. It'll be that morning. And so more information to come on that. We're excited about that. We have a lot of former staff, alumni, community members that are helping facilitate that. And we look forward to a great event, followed by the next day of a tailgate building tour for alumni and community, leading into a midday football game on Saturday. So a great weekend ahead. We want to acknowledge, this is really big, right? We want to acknowledge our Teachers of the Year. So our Teachers of the Year at the elementary school they all have been identified and selected, and will go and represent us at the MISD's event. At the elementary school is Miss Aller, who was recognized as a Teacher of the Year. At the middle school is Mr. Slack, and at the high school, Mrs. Marino. So as you all know, the most important people in front of our kids every day are our teachers, in my opinion. They're spending the most time with them. They are in the classrooms with them. They're helping them grow and learn. And we couldn't do what we're doing without them. So thank you to those teachers and all of our teachers who come here every day, give their blood, sweat, and tears to help our students grow, learn, and be great. Finally, just an update on the bond. I've been fielding, I'm gonna say this to all community members, please feel free to email me. For anybody that's, I've been responding to emails since the town hall. I have no problem communicating like that, or phone calls. We do the best we can with responding to voicemails or messages, try to call everyone back. We're also running a school district with over 800 kids, and so sometimes we may not be as quick to get responses out via a phone call, but an email is never an issue, and I can always be emailed at roperj@mtcps.org, and I will get back to you with answers, or the answers that I can find and get as quickly as possible. So please, my email is always open. I want to say my door is always open, but that backfired on me last year. So it is always open, but an email to initiate the communication would be suffice. So please feel free to email me anytime. We are ramping up things as far as community meetings and getting out. I've already attended several different organizational meetings to discuss the bond and give an overview and information about the bond. There will be more to come. We have a couple things already lined up and planned in partnership with the mayor. I'll be presenting at her coffee talk. The Alumni Association is having their meeting. I'll be presenting there. We're going to do one for parents at each building. There will be another town hall community it won't be town. I don't like town hall because I want to be able. I want dialogue. So we might have something here, a little more intimate, a couple more opportunities in the month of April. So those will be coming and they will be posted on our website. I encourage everyone to please visit our website. On the bond landing page, you can click right on there. All information about our bond, anything that we have in front of you, any materials, any information is already there, and anybody can access that at any time. And so I look to get out in the community and engage in conversation. I had a great opportunity to sit and discuss with about 15 former retired teachers from Mount Clemens, community members, et cetera. And I was able to bring some clarity about the bond initiative, and I look forward to those conversations. And I'll say this: I appreciate the people that has showed up to this board meeting. This has probably been the most community people at a board meeting since I've been here in over a year and a half. I hate that those people had to leave early and couldn't hear the great things that are happening in our district. I encourage people to come, stay, listen, and learn. And so I appreciate those that are able to stay, and I appreciate you coming out. We just encourage the community to continue to be involved and come out. We are really working tirelessly with everything that we're doing. Our student achievement, as someone mentioned earlier, I posed this question to the community, and no one is able to answer this for me just yet. And I've had this conversation with a few stakeholders. Right, we look at student achievement on the internet, on My School Data, and those things are important, and that is what the expectations are from the state level. I encourage people to compare apples to apples. The question I can't seem to get answered is when we look at the proficiency on state performance tests or assessments, the answer I'm looking for is, I wonder what our proficiency levels would be if the people in this community sent their kids to this district. I wonder if the people that took their kids out of this district took their kids out of this district because the proficiency levels were going down, or did the proficiency levels go down when you took your kids out? So I'm open to have that dialogue and that conversation as well, because I'm very interested in learning more about the history and what's happening and what has happened here. I do know that, as I've said many a times, in every great community, there's a great school district. So I encourage this community to continue to come out, hold us accountable, have high expectations, because we do now. I can't speak to what has happened over the last however many years. I've been here for a year and a half, and that's no excuse. But we are working our butts off to close gaps for our students and get our students where they need to be. We have great students. We have great families. They deserve the best. You need to come and meet them sometime. We have a volunteer form. People are always welcome to sign up, volunteer, come in here and touch our kids, and then tell me what you think about what they deserve. I encourage that. Our doors are always open for that. We can't do it alone. We need you. And so I just want to, I know there are people that have past experiences or biases and beliefs about this district, but I encourage you to come and find out who we are now in the direction we're going in. There's been growth year after year, year after year, 2 years in enrollment. There's been conversations about, this amount of money, asking for this amount of money for 800 kids. We have a little over 800 kids right now. The impact of this bond and what we're asking for will affect thousands that matriculate through this district over the next 30 years. Right? And so these narratives that are being created, I understand and I respect everybody's opinion, but at the end of the day, we have lives in this building that need us and deserve the best and deserve to come to school and be educated in an environment that is conducive to learning, that feels safe, and that again, they deserve. So I can go on about that forever. I'm very passionate about our kids. I'm here not to go to war with anybody. I'm here to end the war, right? So this isn't the superintendent's bond initiative. This is this community and this district's bond initiative. And I've had that conversation with a lot of people. And for some reason, I think people think I pulled this bond out of my back pocket. This has been in the planning phases with this community for over a year now. So more opportunities will come to engage the community. And I just encourage everybody to come out and be proactive and continue to come out. Whether the bond passes or fails, I believe it's going to pass. But if it doesn't pass, guess what? We'll still be here. And we'll do the best we can with what we have. We're growing and gaining with what we have and what you see right now. I can only imagine what that could be if the facilities represented the potential here. So those are my comments. I appreciate everyone and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. One question. Do we have any preliminary numbers for spring enrollment yet? Second, what was that?
I don't want to jinx this. So I don't want to misspeak, but
Okay.
it looks like we got two accounts, right? You got FTE, which is who we receive funding for. We don't receive funding for our GSRP. Preliminarily, right now, including our GSRP and a few students, it looks like it's over 900. So once the dust settles, clean up the rosters, kids drop and transfer, I'll have the actual number again. And that projection looks like it's going to be another decent growth this time, not from fall to fall, but from fall to spring. So we're excited about that, and we'll continue to do what we need to do.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, item 8, board comments. Ms. Hammond.
Thank you. Good evening. I had the opportunity to attend the Seminole Kindergarten Roundup, which was great. Kudos to Principal McNeely and the kindergarten teachers. They did a fabulous job. Their space theme was amazing. The decorations and the giveaways they were able to give to the families, and just the excitement on the kids that are coming in for kindergarten and the families. So I really enjoyed being able to attend that event with them. I would also like to congratulate the 2 seniors, Mount Clemens High School seniors, that received scholarships over the weekend from the National Council of Negro Women for Educational Awards. And then lastly, I would like to congratulate our Teachers of the Year. And that's all I have for this evening.
Thank you. Mr. Walker.
Thank you. Well, I'd like to thank the community for coming out, giving their comments. We're glad they were stayed and heard the great achievements the superintendent went over. As we continue to prosper in our greatness. Congrats to Mr. Pittman on the pupil comment position. As well as congrats to Mrs. Adler, Mr. Slack, Ms. Marino on Teachers of the Year. As well as it's great to see that our students in middle and high school are going on trips and getting that out of the building experience in education. Just thank you to this board for supporting the education of our fellow board members. I just got noticed that I will be a level 2 certified board member for MASB at the next county meeting. So that's great, and I can't wait to continue my education with MASB. And that's all.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Ms. Walker.
I echo my other 2 board members' comments. And concerning the bond, my dad graduated from the school in 1944, and my only sister did in 1969. And I live in my grandparents' house built in 1923, right a few blocks from here, and I work in downtown Mount Clemens, and I work with children and families day in and day out. One child makes a difference, whether there are 800 here or 8,000. And the children that come to us need us. And we all know culture and atmosphere changes everything. A different atmosphere where they can learn in a new and creative and different way changes everything. And we cannot forget, like I said, one child makes a difference. So I'm just asking the people in the city of Mount Clemens and our voters to take a chance on our kids. Take a chance on our kids. It's time that we all do. Those are my comments.
Thank you, Ms. Walker. Ms. Cahoon.
You got me all flustered. I never know when I'm gonna go. Thank you. So thank you to the community always for coming out. Would love to see you at more meetings. I encourage more and more people to come. The one lady that was here, she commented online, and I'm glad to see that she was here asking questions. I again wish that more people would just stay. I used to come to board meetings many years ago when actually I sent my son to the public school system. And the only way to stay abreast of the things that happen at the school is to come to the school board meetings and have conversations with the school board, and then come to the schools and learn what's going on in the schools, and by coming to the school board meetings. I am a taxpayer, as are all of us on the board, in the city of Mount Clemens, and I too have questions about the bond, but I'm not going to ever bash anybody. I'm going to ask questions and figure out what I need to do in terms of how I'm going to vote for the bond. And I think that's what the taxpayers are really trying to do, is, at least most of them, some of them are being very disrespectful, and I think we can just ignore them, shut the noise out, and really respond to the people that do have questions, that want to have a dialogue. So with that, when is the next informational meeting going to happen? Because I think that vote's going to happen in May, and we've only had one town hall. I think that we really have to have another one. Promotion of things, it's not one and done. You have to have many promotional things to really get people to kind of get involved, okay? So if we can have one, honestly, before the end of March, that would be fantastic, and then one in April, or maybe even two in April. That would be amazing. I think it would help get the information out there, and as the information gets out there, word of mouth will just end up sharing that information. So if you can make sure that we're informed about all the meetings that you're doing, that would be beneficial to us, because I really haven't heard about anything that you're doing. I'd love to sit in on a meeting like that you have, whether it be at the school or somewhere in the city. I'd love to be involved in that, to hear what's being said by other people. You had mentioned something about a newsletter. What were you saying about a newsletter?
So we athletic. There are a number of newsletters in plans, but athletic newsletters coming. There's one already began for Seminole. Yes, and the secondary one is being planned as well.
Okay.
Which encompasses the district.
Yeah, I think those are really great things that the district needs to do to showcase the things that are happening in the district. The only way you're going to get the information out there is if you share it. And I'm not just saying share it with the parents, but share it with people like residents, anybody that wants to sign up. Make sure you have a sign up on your website, which I think you do, I'm not sure, but make sure that you have that on your website. Make sure that you have that at every event, so people know that that is a thing that they can subscribe to. Make sure that we all know what is happening in the schools. When you had talked about, I forget who it was that went to the colleges for college. Yeah, we didn't know anything. I didn't hear anything about that. So I'm just saying, like, if we can really kind of be in the know, that we can hear about these things that are going on, then when we are responding to things online and to people in the district, we know things that are going on, right? What does the graduation rate look like this year? Do you have any idea what that might look like this year? Is it in
I don't
line?
want to give it's looking promising. I won't give you an exact number right now, but those things are being audited weekly, daily, making sure kids are on track. So
Okay.
we're looking solid.
I appreciate that. I just want to, so I pulled the data from the website, and so Mount Clemens in 2020, the graduation rate was 73%, and then in 2021 it was 75%. It went down in 2022 down to 53%. But right now, it is in, I think it's 81% as of 2024. So it's going in the right direction for the graduation rate, even though our graduation number is not like the other districts. We have a small district. So people that are questioning the numbers, the enrollment, as Mr. Roper has said, has continued to go up since he's been here. We didn't get here overnight, and we're not going to change overnight. That just doesn't happen. And when you speak negatively, that does not help on the district. I'm not saying to not be real, but I'm just saying be honest. Be honest about the numbers, be honest about what we're doing and what the kids are doing, how the graduation rate is increasing, how the enrollment is increasing. So we need to make sure that we're spreading as much positive, if not more positive, than we are negative. The other thing, Mr. Roper, is I'd like to see more videos from the kids in the district about the district. You know, that's stuff that we as board members can really showcase, right? And like that's real. That's a real thing, right? Showing the schools, showing what the kids are doing in the classrooms. Having interviews with you and other teachers. Having interviews about the different classes that are occurring. So I'm just encouraging you. The brand has got to be shown. You can't sell a product and you can't have people buy into a product if they don't know what the product is, if they're not seeing that product, right? And they're not seeing it positively, right? All they have from previous years is, oh, Mount Clemens was bad, oh, it's negative, oh, this or that, okay? We've had great things going on. When is the next quarterly update for the teachers? What, is that
The principals next month.
next month in May? I encourage anybody.
No. April board meeting.
April board meeting. Anybody who has questions about what is happening in the district, come to the April board meeting and listen to what the teachers and what the principals are doing and how they have increased in different areas. We have them quarterly coming and sharing with us the things that are happening in the school and the benefits that are increasing in each and every school. So I encourage you to come back. Congratulations to the teachers of the year. I think that was it. I know that's long, but I really want to, I as a board member, but I as a taxpayer, want questions answered. Because I'm not sure how I'm going to vote on it. And I'm being honest. Okay? But we have to get the information out there and we have to talk to each and every person. And the only way that we're going to do that is if we are getting the information ourselves. Okay? So, the last thing, did you have a school of choice number from the last school of choice recruitment? Do you have that number?
I emailed you. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I responded to you in the email.
No. From this last one.
The window? How many kids? Did you ask that?
Yeah, but that was from the previous one, the last year. I was asking for this year.
I think that's what I responded to.
Oh,
But
okay.
I don't remember off the top. It's not a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Those were my comments. Thank you for the time.
Thank you. Mr. Shepherd.
Hey, be echoing what a lot of board members already said, but congratulations to the Teachers of the Year. I especially just want to spotlight Miss Aller. My daughter had her in 5th grade. That was during the COVID shutdowns, and she was the teacher that Morgan came home to, basically, when we went back to in-person learning. I think her being the 5th grade teacher, she is a big reason why Morgan came here to middle school. It's definitely she's definitely a great representative for the district, and I think does well to help kids in that transition from the 5th to the 6th grade, which I think is so important with the 5th grade teacher. So I can't say enough great things about Miss Aller. She's the only one, unfortunately, I really have any experience with. I'm sure the other ones are great too. For the bond, I'm just gonna say I know there's a lot of negativity about it, but even if this doesn't go through, I'm hoping that people will keep open mind in the future, because our students are competing against districts that have passed up to 4 bonds since 2005. We have passed 0 bonds since that time. So asking our students to compete against those districts is unfair, and it can't continue. So if your taxes go up, taxes go down a little bit, it really doesn't matter, because I consider it an investment into our kids. I don't think you're taking a chance. I don't think you're pulling a level on a slot machine. I think you are making an investment, and it's going to pay off. As for people looking at data with testing, I hope that you can look back and remember back when you were a kid. You took the MEP test in like 4th grade, 7th grade, and 11th grade. The SAT wasn't mandatory. You took it with kids that were wanting to go to college along with you. You paid money for it. You came in on a Saturday after you ate breakfast and got a good night's sleep. Now SAT, you just try to cram it into some school day, and you're in with a bunch of kids who might not be interested at all in taking that SAT. I don't think these testing scores are accurate. I don't think they reflect. I don't think they reflect. They're a good barometer for how well our kids are doing. So I'm just hoping people can start looking at that with an open mind. I recall my daughter in I believe the 4th grade was just in tears because she was so stressed out about taking this test, and to me it wasn't a big deal. So I basically had to calm her down about it. But I mean, I'm sure it's mostly the opposite with most kids, is that you got to get them to take it seriously. So yeah, just the testing, there's just too much in my opinion, and I don't think it's an accurate barometer. Also, the data is outdated, and I just think at some point people need to look at other things. For the administration, human resources and curriculum, I think are just the backbones, and I just think we put too many slashes on it. This person's in charge of human resources / curriculum / crossing guards / whatever. I'm hoping we get to the point where that can be a solid focus. I'm not a professional teacher. I'm kind of a semi-pro, but I'd imagine if I was in an interview, one of the things I would ask is, when it comes to the point in an interview where they ask, do you have any questions for me? I'd ask, well, what curriculum do we have? And if it was like, well, we have a certain curriculum for this or that or whatnot, if there wasn't a structured curriculum like we now have in math, I think I wouldn't be taking the interview very seriously. So I'm very glad that we have a structured curriculum for math, and I'm hoping the other subjects will get that as well. Let's see, other than that, those are my comments.
Thank you, Mr. Shepherd. Dr. McFadden.
Thank you, sir. First of all, I want to say thank you for everybody who came out. I thank the community for participating in our board meetings and anything we do in this district. I really do. And I'd like to see more people come out. So thank you. If you live in Clinton Township, Harrison Township, or Mount Clemens, wherever our school district covers you, please come out, please visit, please participate. I heard a couple of things tonight. One, and I know this is not an advertisement, but history of our schools Saturday morning, that sounds very interesting. So I'm not pushing things, but that sounds very interesting at 10 o'clock in the morning at the library. Congratulations in order to Mr. Dante, level 2. That's good stuff. It really is. And I know we congratulate everybody else, but I do think that it shows a lot that you are continuing education and becoming a better school board member and knowing the knowledge what it takes to actually operate and run on the board. So thank you for that. Track and field is off to a start. Last year, the boys team was in the top 5 of the state. They were regional champions. They're bringing some good talent back. I got firsthand knowledge to know that the boys are still working pretty hard. And the students are just as competitive in the classroom as they are on the field. I know for a fact they go back and forth and trying to see who gets the best grade in class. And that is something that adheres to that student-athlete advantage. They are students before they're athletes. So I know what they're doing out there. Good to hear about kindergarten roundup. Thanks to Scripps for the reading books for elementary. It's a big deal. A lot of people don't adhere to books anymore. I'm the type of guy that goes to the library on a regular basis. And if I could, I'd buy multiple copies of encyclopedias instead of going to the internet. But that's a great thing, and I'm glad they came out and did that. Good to hear about our students receiving real world experience with science activities and excursions. Hands-on is the way to learn. I believe on-the-job training or being involved in something is where you get your best insight. Teacher of the years, Eller, Slack, and Marina. Congratulations. I mean, those guys are superstars. You can't say enough about them. Please visit our district website and click on the bond landing page for additional information. I know a lot of people have a lot of questions about the bond, and I think it's because a lot of people don't know where to go to look for the information. So go to the website. There's a informational tab on there, in reference to the bond. Click on it. It gives a lot of information and details about it. I'm sure we all have been victims of implicit bias. When someone judges something before they know what it's all about. And that's okay, because past experiences forms those type of feelings and thoughts. But to understand a person or to present moving towards the future. So, and what I'm trying to say is, we all have a bias towards certain things. School district, the city we live in, the street we live on, person sitting to my right, person sitting to my left. I'm not going to say anything else about status or non-status. But I do know that once you get to know somebody or know an environment, a city or a school district, your bias will change because you will get to understand that person better and you understand how that person's coming from. And it's okay to have a bias, but I applaud or explore that you reach out and understand what's going on and why you might have that bias. Because sometimes it's just past experience or what you heard someone else say. And the biggest thing about rumors is it's not factual until you talk to the source. So I would say follow up on that. That'd be great to hear. There's a quote I used to always say. And the quote is basically because Ms. Walker mentioned about one child. To affect 10% of the youth is to affect 100% of the future. If we live in a district, it doesn't matter if there's always going to be someone who's going to fall through the cracks. It just happens. You can't save everybody. And there's an adage in the military, we say next man up. But you got to try to at least save or protect 10%. 10%, and it will affect 100% of the user. 100% of the future, that's 100% guaranteed. Mr. President, well, before I say one more thing, Mr. Dante, I'll be there with you because I know you're level 2. So I'll be getting my master's board member award at the same time you're there. Because I know you always go to conferences with me, so look forward to it. Mr. President, those are my comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. I'd like to start off by saying congratulations to our honor roll students. Congratulations to the girls and basketball team and volleyball team. They both competed in the district. I think the girls volleyball team won the district. Yeah. And the girls basketball team lost in the district finals. Congratulations to the boys basketball team. They advanced to the district and they lost in the first round of the district. Congratulations to all those student athletes for not only being scholars, but contributing to the school district also in athletic endeavors. Congratulations to Mrs. Aller, Mr. Slack, and Mrs. Marino for being named the Teachers of the Year. And I've said this before, that the members of this board have nothing to do with the selection of the Teacher of the Year. The Teachers of the Years are selected by their peers in the building. Again, it has nothing to do with the administration, whether it's the building principal, the superintendent, the assistant superintendent, or this board. It's all based on how their peers feel about them, and their peers vote for the person that they feel is the teacher, the most outstanding contributing teacher at that building any particular year. So to the 3 Teachers of the Year that have been advanced from Mount Clemens to the county. Then there's a county competition. If you're successful at the county competition, you go to state competition, and they even have a national Teacher of the Year. So congratulations to our Teachers of the Year for outstanding performances in the classroom, and oftentimes going above and beyond what one might consider the call of duty. Being a teacher is sort of, to me, is a labor of love. People don't go into education to become rich. They go into education to enrich lives and to save lives. So to all of our teachers, I say congratulations, and keep up the good work that you're doing for the students in the Mount Clemens Community School District. I've said this before, but don't listen to the noise on social media. There's a lot of great things that happen with social media, and then there's, on the flip side of that coin, there's a lot of negative things that happens with social media. Anything that you say or do can be broadcast via the internet in a heartbeat. So don't listen to the noise. Arrange to come to our schools. Look at our schools. Look at our students. Look at what our students are engaged in. Look what our teachers are doing. Don't believe what somebody has to say. Like Dr. McFadden said, they have implied biases. There was an old commercial that used to say, drive a O's and draw your own conclusion. Come check out our schools and draw your own conclusions. Don't let that, don't listen to anybody else. Come and make your own decision on what the Mount Clemens Community School District is doing and what the Mount Clemens Community School District could be doing if we had the proper facilities in order to do so. The bond issue, there are flyers that are going out, and at the beginning, during his comments, Superintendent Roper said, if you have any questions, feel free to email him. That's the easiest way to provide it. His email address is R as in Robert, O as in Oscar, P as in Paul, E as in egg, R as in Robert, J as in January, at M as in Mary, T as in Tom, C as in Charlie, P as in Paul, S as in Sam, .org. Roper J at mtcps.org. Any questions that you have and comments that make arrangements to talk with anybody in the district. He's the key person in the line of order, and if there's somebody he needs to have you talk with, then he will do that. But he is the most vital contact that you want accurate information from regarding the bond initiative that the board is is putting on the ballot for May the 6th. Mr. Walker, congratulations on your level 2 CBA training. That says a lot for you. I've always been an advocate of training, and I always encourage my fellow board members to take the training. The district pays for the training. The trainings can be done online. Some of them are in person, but it's a valuable tool because when you're elected to this board, you got elected because you got more people to vote for you than somebody else. Had no formal training on what a board member is or what a board member does. I've said this often. I don't care if you're a teacher, a preacher, a doctor, or a lawyer, a judge, or a congressperson. You have never been a school board member. And when you're a member of the school board, you are the board of trustee of a multi-million-dollar organization. And there's training that's provided by Michigan School Boards Association that guides you through and help you through what the role and responsibility are as elected school board members. So I strongly encourage my colleagues to take advantage of that opportunity. Just don't believe it because Earl said it. Don't believe it because David said it. Don't believe it because Dante said it. Go get the training yourself. As I said, come see what we're doing. I'm a strong advocate of both school board members getting trained so they can know what the job they are to do as a seated school board member. Let's see. Those are my comments.
Mr. President, one more question to ask Mr. Roper.
Yes, ma'am.
There was a comment by Jamie, previous board member, Ms. Clemens, about Plant Moran and getting the data on if bonds don't pass in certain school districts or certain school districts close. And she was asking about that information. Can we get that information? Because I remember the lady was like, yeah, we can get that for you. And we still haven't seen that data. And in fact, I think Jamie asked for it twice. So can we get data from Plant Moran on districts that passed bonds, districts that didn't pass bonds, districts that maybe closed because a bond didn't pass, and what happened? How did the home values go up or down in those districts?
I'll reach out to you because so I make sure I'm understanding what you're asking.
Okay. And then the last thing I will say is in the last, basically since 2020, the school districts have seen a decrease in enrollment. And my hope is that we can get better public school systems for the future and get the things that we're teaching the kids, as Mr. Shepard had alluded to, better testing, better accountability for the kids, and overall better curriculum for the kids so that we have more people wanting to send their kids to the public school systems. So I appreciate the extra time, Mr. Rickman. Thank you.
Item 9.
Move for adjournment.
Support.
Moved by Dr. McFadden, second by member D. Walker. It's not debatable. Call the roll, please.
Dr. McFadden,
Yes.
Mr. Walker,
Yes.
Ms. Cahoon.
Me?
Yeah, adjournment. Ms. Hammond,
Yes.
I vote yes. Ms. Walker
Yes.
and Mr. Rickman.
Yes. Motion carries. Meeting's adjourned at 7:45 p.m. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.